Annyeong! Welcome to Dollightful! Real quick, I've got to thank friend of the channel Shannon for crocheting me this tiny replica of my favorite rainbow sweater. Thank you, Shannon! It's so cute! Toki was such a fun project for me, I knew I wouldn't be able to resist making more rainbow high schoolers. I got my pastel rainbow fix with this custom, so for the next one, let's do a saturated rainbow character. I know, so different, right? We sure do variety on this channel. Here's the sketch. I usually struggle with color, but can I just say, I think I nailed it this time. Using a palette, where literally all the colors are available to you, can be quite overwhelming. But while the hair is pure rainbow chaos, the skin, sweater, and shorts provide solid blocks of color to look at so that your eyes aren't too overwhelmed. The sweater was inspired by this adorable number I came across on Instagram by user Ali the Loaf. I love the way it's patched together from different fabrics, and of course, the giant heart in the center is very fun. Alright, let's get started. Who's it gonna be? None other than Lagoona Blue from Monster High, Generation 3. Ooh, my first Gen 3 custom. As you can see, the doll's already been prepped for customizing. You may even recognize this doll from my previous 2 videos. She's one of the dolls that needed her neck repaired. Let's start with the head. Gen 3 dolls have bigger ears, which means I can mess with them like this and still have plenty of ear to go around. Don't get me wrong, I love Lagoona's fins, but I want my character to have human ears. Gen 3 heads are slightly harder vinyl, so carving and sanding is a more viable option than it used to be. Even so, I wasn't able to get the ears completely smooth. Hopefully when we paint the skin later, all minor defects will get covered up. On to the hair. It's one thing to simply draw a rainbow hairstyle, but how do you actually realize it? I had to sit down and map everything out. So not only do I need to consider the colors, but also which sections of hair are going to form the bangs, the braid, the bun, and the rest. This is easily the most complicated reroute and hairstyle I've ever attempted. Do you see this? We haven't even started plugging yet and it already looks like madness. I coat the acrylic paints with 2 layers of matte varnish to ensure it stays in place. I definitely need the guide for this one. Okay, time for doll hair. Let's see how this goes. As not to get completely lost in the hair, I take each color one at a time, starting with yellow. Take a pinch of 10 or so hairs, slip them onto your tool, and stab that head. You know, oftentimes during the reroute, and especially when you're towards the end of a hank, the hairs can get pretty unaligned, you know? I don't think I've ever talked about this before because it's so hard to film, but let's try it this time, yeah? So you take your plug and fold it in half like usual. Then you hold it up high so that the individual hairs catch the light and you can see what you're doing. This is the part that's hard to film, by the way. Then I pull the hairs straight and jiggle it around until the short ends pop out, then pull them down to be even with the rest. I honestly do this for every single plug because it makes things nice and tidy. Because, you know, the rooting process isn't time-consuming enough already. That's yellow done. Next is green, blue, indigo, purple, or more like magenta, neon pink, and orange. That'll do it. Squirt some galaxy glue into the head and squish it around to make sure the loose plugs are coated in glue. Leave the head to dry overnight, and when you come back the next day, you can fully appreciate your work. Ah yes, look at that delectable waterfall of colors. It's so perfect! God, I love rainbows. Sorry, I'm supposed to keep these videos PG. Let's set the head aside for now and turn to the body. Apart from fixing the neck peg, there are some other minor adjustments to make to the doll. Little things like filling in holes in the legs, and shaving down various fins and scales that the original character had. Now that the base is good and truly ready, we can paint her hot pink. Because I've learned nothing from previous projects, I'm even going to use my fluorescent paint. Prepare yourselves for my camera not being able to handle neon. I did a lot of color correction in post, and this is still the best I could get it to look. The reason I chose G3 Lagoona was thanks to her pink skin tone being the closest match to neon pink. Even with good technique and quality materials, you can expect paint to rub off around the joints, so if the plastic color is at least in the same color family or a similar value, it won't look too bad. It's going very well except for her lower legs, which refuse to become opaque. It's that fancy blue plastic causing the problem, isn't it? I should have done this first, but better late than never. I coat the lower legs with a solid white layer of gesso primer, then the pink paint finally shows up. Heck yeah! Look at this hot pink skin tone! My eyes are burning! This rules! I tried to add some subtle blushing to the knees and wrists, but the pink is so bright you really can't see it. Once you're happy with the paint job, seal it in with matte varnish. I give the doll 2 to 3 coats. Of course, don't forget the head, we need to paint it too. But before that, this is when I uploaded a teaser to Instagram and was checking the comments, and people were speculating what doll it was and noticed that the ears had been cut, and this one commenter was like, oh, they seem like rough cuts before she makes it look better. And I was like, oh snap, I was gonna call this good enough, but they're expecting better from me. So I got out a new fine grit of sandpaper and really sanded them down nice and smooth, like for real this time. They're very smooth. Thanks for keeping me on my toes, community. Now pop the head back on, and paint the head as well, including varnish at the end. Once that's dry, mask off the hair and grab your filtration mask. It's Mr. Super Clear sealant time. A couple sprays out the window should do the trick. This primes the surface to accept the materials we're about to use. Let's give her a new face. Wow, the camera does not like being this close. Apologies for the amateur video quality. Begin with the line work. I start with the lash lines and creases of the eyelids. Apart from her iris color, I'm keeping this character's face up simple and muted. So brown lashes, brown and dark magenta for the shading, dark magenta lips, etc. No fancy makeup this time. The rest of the doll is so bright and complicated, I thought a simple face would ground the character. Throw down a watery acrylic base for the eye whites. And a white base would be useful for her irises too, actually, so let's add that also. These thin layers don't take long to dry, so pretty quickly I can layer up the pigments until I'm satisfied with the color and opacity. And remember, if you're trying a face-up for yourself, there's no right or wrong way to go about it. I'll switch back and forth from pencils, paint, pastels. Sequence doesn't seem to matter. Come to think of it, that's something I've always really loved about doll customizing, the materials. Each doll is a very multimedia project. Whereas painting involves a canvas and oils, let's say, a doll involves plastic, paints, sealants, textiles, sometimes clay, epoxy, woodworking, resin, even electronics. This hobby is wild. No wonder it's endlessly fun. If you're a creative person who enjoys working with physical mediums, you'll love doll customizing. Went off on a tangent there, my bad. Add a couple eye shines and the face is done. Give the face a final spray of sealant and let that dry. Surprisingly, you can see the details of her face up quite clearly. I don't know, I guess I thought the neon was so powerful that you wouldn't be able to see anything else, which is true to some extent. Let's Liquitex the lips for a shining effect. You can do this to the eyes too if you want, but it makes photographing the doll harder in my opinion. Let's see how the face looks with the hair. What is it about seeing a full spectrum of colors that brings me such joy? Is there science behind this? Color theory, I guess. I know I'm not the only one. Time to style this chaos. I'm already working with so many colors, why did I also attempt the most complicated hairstyle? Okay, so I wish I could take credit for this, but in fact, I'm stealing this hairstyle directly from an Ever After High doll, Ashlyn Ella. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know that the bun struggle is real, and that it's difficult to tie slippery nylon doll hair into cutely shaped buns. Well, some genius hair designer at Mattel figured it out, and I'm going to copy their technique. First things first, I need to find all the parts and redivide the hair into sections, a la my blueprint. Douse the hair with boiling hot water to flatten and shape the fibers downward. Now it lays more like real hair. I was gonna do bangs, but now I'm thinking a middle part suits the doll's face shape more. What do you think? Okay, Catherine, no more dawdling. Make the bun already. Comb up the middle section and tie it in the center like a normal ponytail. Now take a pencil and fold the ponytail forward towards the face over the pencil. Take another elastic and tie it off again. As you can imagine, this would be a lot easier with a shorter pencil. Then, one more time, wrap the hair back the opposite way over the pencil and use your third and final elastic to tie it off. Finagle and shape the bun while the pencil is still in place. Once you're happy with how it looks, you can remove the tool and voila! A beautifully shaped doll-sized bun. The rainbow colors provided an extra challenge for this hairstyle. I wasn't able to completely control the colors, so they get kind of mixed and muddled, but I still really like how it came out. Next is the side braid. I was going to do 3 colors, but turns out that was too much hair, so I dropped a color to thin it down. The braid lays across the top and wraps all the way around the back, where it's been tied off out of sight. Now to address the dilemma we had earlier, bangs or no bangs? Bangs. You can see the rainbow colors better with bangs. A part of me wishes I had stopped here. This looks really cute. But I want you to clearly see her earrings later, so I chopped off the rest. With the doll body complete, it's time to focus on clothes. The sweater may look complicated, but it was actually pretty easy. Like any other top, I started with a simple pattern consisting of front, back, and sleeve pieces. This is a modified version of my long sleeve shirt pattern. Now, to get the patched together upcycled look, we simply take snippets of other fabrics and sew them on top. I also made a big heart decal to be sewn on the front, similar to Ali's designs as mentioned at the start of the video. That's all the pieces ready. Now we can sew the thing together. I gather the sleeve and sew on the cuffs, which I forgot to photograph, so here's a graphic. Then I sew the shoulder seams, add the neck binding, and attach the sleeves to the bodice. I zip up the side seams, which includes closing the sleeves. And just like the cuffs, I gather the bottom of the sweater and add a long strip of fabric. With a little Velcro, the garment is technically finished, but we can detail this sucker even further with some well-placed acrylic paint. I brighten up parts of the fabric, added a decal, and of course painted lines around the edges of the sweater. Take a large rectangle, fold it in half and gather it, then stitch in the ditch to attach it to the sweater. And it's done! Is this not the cutest dang sweater you've ever seen? The back's a little boring, but that'll get concealed by hair, so it's alright. I gotta see it on the doll. Yes, just like my concept art, the pink and yellow are really complementing each other. This could not be going any better. Let's do the shorts. So, as mentioned in my Gen 3 dolls video, the new ghoulies have different body types, meaning none of my patterns fit these dolls. Well, the looser clothing still works, but skin-tight clothes like leggings and pants, not a chance. The closest fit was my Monster High Boy/BTS doll pants pattern, so I used that as a launching point. There was a lot of modifying and tweaking little bits here and there, but that's not very fun or entertaining, so here's the finished pants. To get the distressed look, I simply left the legs unhemmed and scraped a needle through the fabric a couple times. She's got streamers coming off her shorts, so I cut 18cm length strips of ribbon and heat seal the edges. I would have done a full rainbow, but I didn't have all the colors, so I settled on orange, yellow, blue, and purple. 4 in the front and 4 in the back. I simply stitch these to the waistband and the shorts are done. They look amazing layered under the sweater, and the streamers give it a fun kinetic quality. I had grand plans to craft her the ultimate pair of sneakers from clay and fabric, and went so far as to draw up a pattern. But then, look at these factory-made shoes from Claudine, though. I don't know if I can do better than that, guys. I decided to simply add some paint and use these instead. Hey, I did really good with the sweater and shorts, so give me a break. Shoes are really hard. While we're on the subject of upgrading existing doll accessories, how about this skateboard from the new Ghoulia doll? So cute! The bottom has some superhero design. It's probably explained in the new Monster High cartoon, but I haven't watched it, to be honest.
Let's customize it to fit our new character a bit better.
After priming the board with black gesso, it's time to decorate. Here I have a bag of random stickers that I received from a friend. Most of them have a vintage theme, which is perfect for that grungy skateboarder aesthetic. There's also a small selection of rainbow letters. Surely we can use these. Those of you who are good at Scrabble have probably already spotted some excellent words. I knew I'd miss something obvious if I didn't ask the internet for help, so I turned to Twitter. Boy, you guys really delivered too. Thanks to everyone who replied. I never would have come up with half of these. It was hard to choose, but I'm gonna have to go with sugoi, suggested by Sky the Golden. It's the Japanese word for cool, and it feels like it's basically been adopted into the English lexicon at this point. It's just the right amount of niche and nerdy. Alright, let's just go for it. I keep a razor and scissors handy to trim the stickers down so that they fit perfectly into place. I think this is a Hallmark sticker you use to seal an envelope. Gotta use the pony sticker. Changed my mind about that Pez sticker. Whoops. Okay, time to stick on our word of choice. Yeah, this looks great. I think we've got room for one more word. What do we have left? Okay. Collage is fun, isn't it? It feels like our Rainbow Girl character customized the skateboard herself, you know? It's got that homemade look to it. To ensure the stickers don't go anywhere, apply a thick layer of glue over the entire surface. I use Okung Bond, and it's great for this stuff. I know because I've done the exact same thing on one of my sketchbook covers a couple years ago, and it's still holding up great. Pop the wheels back in, and the skateboard is done. All that's left are the tiny accessories and finishing touches. I drew a band-aid with colored pencil, cut it out, and glued it to the doll's knee. She probably got a scrape from practicing a backside 360. I glued together several sheets of yellow construction paper to layer up thickness, then cut out 2 stars and a teeny tiny moon to be her earrings. Take embroidery threads that have been saturated with glue and wrap them around the doll's fingers to make tiny rings. Super cute. String together a length of rainbow seed beads to make the perfect necklace. And make her a matching bracelet too, why not? And with that, our Rainbow Girl is fully decked out and ready to be the most colorful skateboarding high schooler you've ever seen. I had a harder time than usual naming this character. I wanted something bright and colorful, of course. Spectrum, Spectra, Aurora, or to use that. What gemstones are iridescent? Let's see. Labradorite. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Well, I was trying to avoid it because there's already a bunch of famous and beloved characters with this name, but she looks like a Ruby to me. Ruby is just the perfect match for her. I love it. The name is not optimized for Google search results, but that's a hit I'm willing to take. Something about her gives me cool senpai vibes. Maybe she's a couple grades ahead of Toki, but they still hang out at the skate park. Just like how roller skating in high heels seems like a bad idea, I can't imagine skateboarding with a bunch of streamers attached to your shorts would lead to anything good. It does make for some dynamic action shots, though. I thought I did a good job at the time, but looking at the photos now, I really butchered the bangs, huh? I blame the fact that I couldn't find my hair scissors. Yeah, let's blame the tools. In some of the images, you may have spotted her wearing a backpack. That's the original Lagoona doll's backpack, unaltered in any way. It just fit her perfectly, so I added it for the photo shoot. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this doll as much as I did. She's so bright and colorful that I wondered if I should put like an eye strain warning on the video, but hopefully you're okay. Normally this is when I'd be filming my outro with my Pastel Galaxy background, but I can't find it. I've recently moved into my very own studio, and I can't wait to show you, and I'm sure the background's around here somewhere. Hopefully with the studio I can have the space to create more videos because I'm sure you've noticed a bit of a drop in content. So until next time, stay artsy! Annyeong! Oh, you're still here. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.